SOPA is a bill that represents censorship and restrictions to pirated websites. The pirated websites will also become victim if SOPA were to pass. SOPA's passing can mean the copyright owners will have their reputation saved and their preserved copyrighted material will be safe in the copyright owner's hands. Imagine a world without freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is what the First Amendment is about. And without it, will we have our pirated websites and our freedom to have our expressions displayed on our social websites? Probably not. As if SOPA were to pass or not is up to the users to decide, to determine, or rather something like that, determine if it's safe or not. SOPA can mean trouble for the internet as well. Copyright owners will not only have their copyright material locked and restricted, but will also hurt the users as well. SOPA is a bill that represents Stopping Online Piracy Act, in which it prevents piracy from passing. And if SOPA were to pass, we'll have our money lost more than the copyrighted owners. Piracy has taken the toll off of our economy and off of our music and movies industry. Over $120 million were lost in between the MMPA, as in the movie productions, which is $150 billion, and $120 billion were lost in between those two subjects. Those subjects referred to as music, which is $20 billion. I did not mean to say $120 billion, but to put that together, it'll cost like $120 billion of lost money. Not only it hurts the economy, but it also hurts the Americans who are paying their hard-earned taxes. How will this affect the internet? This could water down our information, less informative than anything before, and our websites will be locked down to restrictions where people cannot access the free information. Our search engines will be limited down to some informations that are valid, and most of them are invalid. And if SOPA were to pass, the copyright owners will have their rights reserved and preserved forever. The copyrighted material will be locked into their hands. The users will lose more money and will have to face the dark ages of the internet. The dark ages of the internet refers to as the information that is not accessible, a world without the First Amendment. But how do we stop SOPA from passing? We must strike, of course. Striking would mean signing their bills and petitions to get those two banned forever. And by striking, we'll also contribute to society in a way of expression of the speech, the freedom of speech, of course. The First Amendment covers that, as well as other speeches as well. And if SOPA were to not pass, more and more piracy will continue. I may not like the idea of piracy, but at least it'll prevent me from passing SOPA. The founder of SOPA was formatted in October 26, 2011 by Lamar Smith. He is the Republican behind SOPA, along with his deviated plan to ruin the internet's reputation, as in to block out some information that is not to be censored out at all. Wikipedia is also in this as well. Wikipedia has suffered worse fates than any other websites. Wikipedia has shut down its website from January 18th to the 19th of 2012. Many students were devastated to hear about this, such as twittering around the Facebook and telling them that we need to stop SOPA from passing, and twittering about the responses of why they can't do their homework done. SOPA is an indication of which, if censorship were to pass, we'll lose our freedom of speech. And if SOPA were to not pass, our freedom of speech is preserved, but the copyright owners may or may not be preserved depending on their situation. Google has also placed a censor bar around their name, as it would be considered copyrighted. And you cannot testify, as it would be taking years and waste of time. It's just pointless to testify if you have no point. And if you have no point, there is no situation, no problems, no solutions. And if SOPA were to pass, the testifying will be cleared. We'll lose everything. With all our valuable information gone, we will lose the internet's privileges, and the internet is upset due to piracy, and piracy refers to as stealing copyrighted material without the permission of copyrighted holders. Many have tried to stop SOPA, and Google is one of these people and organizations that tries to stop SOPA and its reign of terror. And many supporters have decided to bring an end to SOPA as anti-piracy. By supporters, I mean supporters of these anti-SOPA. And the protesters who are not approving of anti-SOPA are also the supporters of SOPA. They're the ones who are trying to get SOPA to pass. But what I found was more shocking than I've ever guessed. A founding member of SOPA has also been an online pirate the whole time. He has uploaded a picture without the copyright owner's material and citation. G.J. Schultz is the author of his picture, and it is on his website, but unfortunately he needs to rethink of the concept. So, as a response to the plagiarized imagery, he has to shut down his bill and put that image out of the website. With SOPA and Pipa gone, there will be other laws that will contribute to SOPA's censoring and restrictions. Thus, SOPA will be gone, but other bills like it will come back. To make this long story short, SOPA is a bill that enables censorship to the users, and the copyright owners will have their rights preserved. If SOPA were to pass, it will be the dark ages of the internet. But stopping the SOPA from passing would require a lot of blocking out of the websites, as in blackouts. And with all the blackouts in their successive places, SOPA's reign of terror is over for now, but it may come back in some form. And in other words, SOPA's main factor of censorship was to be reconcepted for some time. Thus, if SOPA were to come back, we'll be ready to fight it once again.